Mutha Mazhai hingu kotti teerado.
बरसेगी आज संग संग मोरे बरसेगी आग ऐ यारा आज जाना ऐ यारा ఇంకేమవుతుంది కథ అవుతుంది కథ ఇంకేమవుతుంది కథ. I sang because Dhee was unfortunately not available that day. I haven't suddenly started singing specially or something like that. I've been singing like this. I definitely want to apologize to Dhee. Radha Ravi, lot of power, heft and clout. Rescuer, the saver of the Tamil language and all of that. Of course, great writer, no doubt about it. Give devil due credit. But he is my molester. Marathu pochanaku.
Hello, this is Srinivasa Ramanujam from The Hindu, and today we are very happy to have with us singer Chinmayi, who is recently in the news thanks to her amazing performance at the audio launch of Thug Life. Just to set some context for people who might not know, Chinmayi performed at the audio launch of Thug Life, which is Kamal Haasan's upcoming film with Mani Ratnam, and her version of the song has gone viral and is on everybody's playlist right now. So much that, you know, music label Saregama released a separate version of her version. Hello Chinmayi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, Srinivas. Thank you.
Super. So performing at the Thug Life audio launch, Chinmayi, to start off with, you know, in front of so many people at the Sairam Engineering College and Mani Ratnam, Kamal Haasan, A.R. Rahman. In fact, Mani Ratnam and A.R. Rahman, of course, you know, launched you in the industry, say 20 years ago in Kannathal Muthamittal. But of course, the last few years, post the Me Too, once you raised the Me Too movement and named a few people in the industry, did you feel that performing at the Thug Life audio launch was sort of validation that you're still around and you're still like the boss?
I didn't go up on stage that day feeling like the boss. Neither did I feel special. I was definitely grateful for the opportunity. So I just want to put one thing straight. When I went and sang that, right, it was going to be another performance. Just like, you know, a lot of singers have sung Maya Maya in Rahman sir's concerts, or I have sung Vendilave Vendilave. I think each singer brings a certain specialty to a certain performance. I would have sung Chitramma's songs, S. Janaki Amma's songs on different stages. Either I have sung Singaravelene Deva so many times, because those are classics that, you know, we aspire to sing. Especially on stage, it's very, very tough. It's like actually writing an exam each time you sing something like that. So when I sang that, I didn't expect any of this. I sang because Dhee was unfortunately not available that day. I had sung the Telugu and the Hindi version, and I just did my job. Other than that, there was nothing else. I was called to perform the Tamil because the main singer wasn't available, and I was a stand-in. That is all there was to it. What has happened now, I definitely believe there are so many times that I have questioned if there is a God. Just like I think it's a very famous Mr. Kamal Haasan statement, right? That the kadavul illana sollala irundha nalla irukku, something like that. I have, you know, quoted that several times because of the kind of thing that I've been doing in the past 6-7 years. And I want to put one thing straight, is that when somebody sings a song, I think they bring something to the table. And when Dhee was cast, I'm sure that they were going for something quirky, different, because she has a very specific, special timbre to her voice and a special expression, which is very peculiar to her, which cannot be imitated by anybody else. And then there is something that she brings to the table. Now, I think it is this entire thing about, her version versus, it feels like we are on one wrestling match which we didn't sign up for, right? We have been put into the ring and like two bulls now fight. That's not how it is. As artists, we are very openly admiring of each other's work. It's not a competition. It's even in so-called reality show competitions, as when you become a listener, you're enjoying music and art for the sake of it. Why I think it has become what it has is because I think somewhere maybe stars aligned or something like that, because I haven't suddenly started singing specially or something like that. I've been singing like this. I guess it was just very different, and nobody was expecting it, number one, and it probably smacked them on their faces or whatever. And I definitely want to apologize to the child. I mean, she's a very young girl, right? She's starting out. I mean, she started out a while ago, but still very young girl. 15 years down the line, maybe she'll eat some 100 Chinmayis and Shreya Ghoshals, and she'll have her own space. And to compare the two is, I think, is not necessary at all, because this is not the space that we function from as artists, and with somebody with a lot more years, behind me and experience. Because if you had asked an 18-year-old or a 20-year-old Chinmayi to sing this, I don't know, right? There is something that experience can also bring to the table.
Sure. And
you can't compare that to a 20-something year old and what is she doing, how is this expression. She would have done what she decided to do that day, or she was told to do that day. And I followed what Rahman sir taught me, and the sangatis, and some, of course, laughing here or dragging it there and things like that. Those were things that we all, experiment while we are recording. Whether it gets retained or not is the music director's call.
Sure.
So, sing it this way, sing it that way. Why don't you bring this sort of a tonality? Something that every composer has worked with when we are behind the mic. This has happened with Varayo, it has happened with Sarasara Sarakata, to bring a very husky tonality, which is the first time that somebody tried with me was Ramesh Vinayagam sir. So until nobody had used my voice in that husky timbre. And then of course Sahana came, and then I remember people saying, I don't think you would have sung it. Rahman sir would have done something with the computer and all. I got said that onto my face. I'm like, okay. And then until I sang that in every concert, switching between the tonality of Sahana versus Maya, then they realized, okay, this girl has sung the Nada Padirke, both Kilimanjaro and all the clicking. So those are the special things, when you can belt your heart out with Kilimanjaro and sing, and then finally what they're waiting for is that, right? So to answer your question, I didn't feel like the boss. I was a stand-in, I was a temp, if you would ask me, and I did my job, that's all.
Okay, Chinmayi, with respect to Dhee, of course, she's a phenomenal singer. She, as you rightly said, brings a very, very fresh perspective, fresh musical perspective to her own sounds. Your version of the song that you had sung on the audio launch has sort of become viral, despite it, being a song and all that, because usually the viral trend is to do with usually hook steps and fast songs, but right. I'm very happy that this song, your song, has become viral, so to say. How has the feedback generally been in the last few days for Chennai?
I'm shocked. I didn't think that people would be... I would be on the receiving end of this sort of praise, or oh my God, you sang so well. That's what when I think Venkat Prabhu said what he said, sir, because I mean, I was basically referring to a song that Venkat Prabhu, me and SP Charan had sung together in There is a triad, there is a duet, and then what is a 3-singer song called? Never mind. So the three of us actually recorded the song together, and it was a really fun session. And Gangar and Amaran sir would actually encourage us to sing that live, but both SP Charan and Venkat at that time would like, and all that will happen. So that was such a fun, beautiful recording session. That's sort of a camaraderie that we had. So I was basically referring to that types. So for me, I have no explanation to what's happening and how, why. There's no explanation, and it's new to me, but it's not sinking into me, if because I think for 6-7 years, there's been like my timeline, my DMs and everything would be filled with abuse, right? And I think somewhere my emotions and everything got deadened with that. And now where there's so much praise and adulation, I'm like, okay, thank you, I guess. So, and this is not coming from a space of, being ungrateful. I'm truly grateful to the higher powers, everything that's made it happen. But marathu pochu enakku. Yeah.
One of the headlines I read, Chinmayi, was banned singer Chinmayi makes a comeback in Tamil films. Now, to clarify this to people who might not know, is Chinmayi banned?
Yes.
If yes, who has banned her and what does this ban entail?
So, to set the context, I think you would have read the news before that, people have been issued red cards to not work in a particular union. By a union, for example. You would have previously, I think, a very, very famous personality to get a red card from the south would have been Asin. Of course, she moved over to Bombay and then she, moved on with her own life after that. So, there are a group of 24, I think, unions in the film industry. Don't hold me to that number, but ish, okay? So, what happens is that when one union bans you, one union has a president who will be an office bearer in some other union or will be a treasurer in some other union. So, in a way, even though this is a strong word, all of these unions are kind of incestuous. One office bearer sits somewhere else and someone sits somewhere else. That person will be in the lyricist or the writers union. A lot of directors will be in multiple unions. They could also be producers. They'll also be in producers unions. Similarly, there will be a lot of actors and actresses who will be in the dubbing union, right? So, the dubbing union banned me. Now, what happens with something like that is that Radha Ravi holds a lot of power, heft and clout. I named a very powerful man, extremely politically connected across left to right, because he's purportedly the rescuer, the saver of the Tamil language and all of that. Of course, great writer, no doubt about it, give devil due credit, but he is my molester. And multiple women named him. I was not the only one. So that is another significant erasure that has happened, saying that I became the only person that they all named, very conveniently forgetting there were 3 other women at least who came out on camera saying that he was their molester, plus 2 others, including Rehana ma'am and Malesha Vasudevan's daughter-in-law, coming on camera saying, he's like this, we have seen him do this. So, he is an industry open secret. So there's a lot of open secrets. See, I have no moral science lessons to take. It's not about consensual relationships. It's about workplace sexual harassment. Now, all of this new information and new learning came to me also, that there are terminologies for this. There is workplace sexual harassment. When somebody is under stress, there is a fight, flight, fright, but there is also a freeze for somebody who's a trauma responder. So many things I have learned on the way, listening to so many stories and so many accounts of survivors of all genders for that matter. So when the dubbing union bans you, they basically send a non-cooperation notice to other unions saying that don't cooperate with this person, they have been banned from this union. Therefore, everybody else will stop working with you. The musicians union may not have banned me, but they will. So one of the things that happened is Mithran was the first one to make me work in Hero, and he literally had to make me dub like 1 day, 2 days prior to the release in secret, and he got taken to task for that. Second is of course Leo. What happened was that they tried to find out who the engineer was who dubbed me, which studio, so that they can put a non-cooperation notice with the studio and ban the dubbing engineer, because they are all enmeshed in a sort of a way. So when a film comes to the dubbing stage, right, it's in the post-production stages. People are racing against time to finish a film. They have multiple things going on, financial, production-wise, somebody is delivering, not delivering. They have to put in, cater to various demands. Plus whatever else might be happening in the outside, like force majeure, something might be happening that might affect the film in some way, form or the other. At that point, it is too much for a producer to take on, oh my god, ayyo double ban pantangla sari adutha alapar. It's not their problem to deal with at that point in time. Despite that, Govind Vasantha, Sam CS, Nivas Prasanna, I know composers who have told me that I want to make you sing, but the producer is not letting me. I want to make you sing, but the producer say, edukuppa, venda. Right? So their sympathies lie with the poet, and that's the other thing. I just didn't name one guy. I didn't just say it's my molester, my story. I don't care about the others. I also shared other people's stories. I shared about a couple of other women who spoke about being harassed by Radha Ravi himself. So they came up with a flimsy reason that I did not pay 90 rupees as subscription fees, while they have made 10% of my entire income since the day that I was introduced. I had dubbed about 80 films until then. Do the math, and the lakhs that have gone from my income, compulsorily, you have no choice. It will be deducted by that union, and the rest of the money will come to you without GST, without... So I had to actually flag it, saying that what you guys are doing is an auditing problem for me. I can't do this anymore. Thereafter, I tried to explain, and then I said, let the payment come to me, let me raise my invoice and pay my service tax, then I'll pay you your 10%. And once I got banned, of course, every in charge, dubbing union in charge, sits at studios to see who's come, who's gone, and to report if I had come or not. I'm not the only one to be banned, by the way. They have, Radha Ravi's union has banned multiple other really talented dubbing artists over the years, and their struggle was not known because they are not somebody like Chinmayi. It's only after I got banned that I knew like some 10 others have been banned, including a woman who said that she was called to Radha Ravi's house to get a dubbing union card, which will be up to his mood. I mean, whatever he wants to charge on that particular day, he'll look at your face. If he thinks that you can pay 5 lakhs, you will have to pay 5 lakhs. If you can pay 5,000, it will be 5,000. If it is also offered in kind, then he will decide what that will be. So I think this is how the ban works. To put things in perspective also, Anbarivu were also banned. And they went to court and overturned it. There are makeup artists, female makeup artists are not allowed on, they are not given a card in general. There are so many things like that happening in the unions, and when you speak about this and flag all of this, right? Even Banu had to, the makeup artist of superstar Rajinikanth, she had to go to court to get the right to work. So these are things that people don't know because this is not their problem, one. And even people inside the industry, I guess it is too much information for them. And until it becomes their problem, it's not their problem.
There have been many conversations about women's safety at the workplace, of course. But I would wanted to know, what have you lost professionally? Is the music and film industry viewing Chinmayi a little differently since then?
This is not a question that I can answer. You probably have to ask if what they feel about me, what is going on. There might be sympathies like, yeah, we know, but edukku vambu. End of the day, it comes down to edukku vambu only. And does the industry view me differently? I don't know. I know that I made no friends after that because I named a gamut of people, right from the film industry to singers to Carnatic musicians. When they see that I have been saying and speaking and things like that, I don't know if, because it doesn't change me as a person. How I'm viewed is, I'm not seeing myself as a third party, so I guess it is for them to answer.
Who has been your, cheerleaders in this whole process? Who have stood with Chinmayi and who have supported you? Of course, family, 100%. I'm pretty sure, is the first, and it's only probably because of your supportive family that you're able to...
100%. The biggest thing that I have that other girls don't have, because they couldn't come out and speak, is because if they are married, they didn't have a husband like mine. Or their parents were not like my mother-in-law and father-in-law. I mean, God bless his soul, my father-in-law passed away a couple of months ago. But if not for their support and for the unequivocal support that I do want to say that I still live in rental accommodations, and my house owners at that point didn't say, please get out of the house, we can't deal with all of this, right? But Sundari auntie and Balu uncle, I have no words to say thank you to them for them to let me, continue to rent out their place despite, people standing outside wondering, police coming and going, all of that. They were my biggest cheerleaders, my house owners, Amudan, Govind Vasantha, people like P.S. Mitran, There are people in the media, of course, and I I can say a few more people, but I don't want to put them in trouble by saying that they were sympathetic to me. But most definitely, Samantha has been my greatest cheerleader through this. The girls in Kerala, Parvati, Reema, all of them. I mean, especially in the ONV group thing, if they hadn't come out the way they did, and they're all shadow banned for speaking up and standing with their own colleague. And the kind of work and the loss that they face, we have all faced it in different ways, but I think I'm the only one to actually have a formal ban anywhere in this country or anywhere in the world also. To actually ban somebody from working has never happened anywhere else in the world, I think, except here in Tamil Nadu.
Chinmayi, if you were to go back to that day in 2018, when I think the Me Too movement was picking a lot of conversations across India, and it was at that point of time, I think October sometime, you sent out the tweet, and then everything, everybody started talking about it. If I were to take you back to that particular day and you haven't hit enter at that point of time, would you do anything different?
No. I know who I told immediately after I was molested way back. I know how many people I had told over the years. And when you had to work and deal with somebody as powerful as this man, who would constantly drop some chief minister or prime minister's name for every event, and you had no choice to say no to his events. You had to do it because it is protocol. You had to follow all of those rules. I wouldn't do things differently. Of course, my mom begged me not to. She said, somehow there is a 96, please don't do this and please don't ruin your career because they'll not let you live after this. I wouldn't do it differently because I felt it was dichotomous to not speak my own truth while I was egging others to do so.
Let's go back to music a little bit, Chinmayi. Your Thug Life song, of course, you've sung it in Hindi and Telugu. Can you take me through the recording process of this particular song? Because it's a Mani Ratnam A.R. Rahman film which you've sung for. And 20 years ago, when Chinmayi burst into the scene, I remember chatting with you at that point of time for one of your first interviews. That was also the same Mani Ratnam A.R. Rahman combination. Of course, we've seen a pandemic, we've seen so many technological changes since then. But how different were these two recording experiences?
Nothing different, because from Devam Tanda Poove, I think in between, if I had worked, there was also Tere Bina and Maya Maya. That small humming in Chekkachevandavanam, all that aside, I think there's absolutely no difference in the working experience as such, because this one, Rahman sir was telling me how he'd like me to sing. He sang some of these notes like all of that, and to start with that just ended like that sort of a thing, just be very abrupt. And he asked if I could do something differently with Innum Varumendan Kadai. So Innum Varumendan Kadai, so we do all that. I mean, he is when I first sang this song a while ago, I did not know I was singing for Thug Life. I was singing just because none of the other people are there in the studio for you to make these links and say, oh, maybe I have sung in this film and all. That's not happening. So Rahman sir was there, he taught me the song, so I was like, yeah, okay. And then finally, months later, I was asked to sing the Telugu and the Hindi version as well. And, we reworked a lot of this he reworked a lot of this to sound a certain way with the sangatis and, instead of Kalai Kanavil, instead of Kalai Kanavil, Kanal Kanin Kana, I think the second chanam goes into the higher octave. So, all of that, I think, so it basically showcases the creative genius that he is. It's the same song, but he can present it in multiple different ways, the way that he wants to. So he might be given the same bag of rice, but he'll give you, I think, an entire 15-course menu with that one bag of rice.
With, again, with due respect to the Do you wish you had sung the Tamil version also?
I don't wish for anybody else's work. Neither do I wish that I had sung it. I wish her only the best. And I also don't know why I did not sing Tamil. Again, as I started off with this interview, if they had cast Dhee for this, in general, right, even in Ponniyin Selvan, I had sung only in Telugu. I had not sung in Tamil. Veera Raja Veera, right? For a long time, I have been singing the Telugu songs and then the dubbing versions of those Telugu songs. For example, O Prema from Sita Ramam. I have sung the Tamil version of it, but the original is Telugu. It's a Telugu film which gets dubbed in Tamil. It's Nani is an original ODMA is in Telugu which gets dubbed in Tamil. So if you see the list of songs that Chinmayi has sung since 2018, you will see an entire list of dubbing songs, not straight Telugu films, of which a couple of these films were actually recorded pre-2018 also. So sometimes films take their own time. They will take 2-3 years by the time they see the light of day. I remember that one song released after 6 years or 7 years after I had recorded it around 2019. What is this sort of a thing? So I think I have been singing in other languages. I've been singing in Kannada, I've sung in Malayalam, in Telugu in the past 6-7 years. But in general, I don't have it in my genetic makeup to wish for other people's work.
A little bit more about Angamore and which is the Hindi version of Mutha Mazhai. There are classical elements, Chinmayi, but there is also some kind of Qawwali happening.
Yeah.
There are so many elements that are in that particular song. There is also comparisons with Hai Rama, which is A.R. Rahman's earlier song in Rangila. There is also comparisons with the Tenali song and all that. Probably because there is some Pantuvarali ragam happening there. How do you see all that?
I like the way that everybody is discussing about the song, that it is this, it is that, it is that. But at the end of the day, I think people are having fun. And I think that's what I would like to focus on. The reason why I think people feel that it's like Hai Rama is because there is a Shruti that starts and there is a that's all. Otherwise, I think the song has nothing to do with Hai Rama in any other way or form or structure or how this song is created, I think. Yes, I think Sufi Qawwali version, suddenly you are seeing Carnatic influence, all of that, of course. But yeah, it's...
Musically, is it based on the Pantuvarali ragam?
Not really, because it goes... Not really.
Okay. Since this song released, Chinmayi, many of your fans, especially on social media platforms, have started posting your older songs, some of which listening to these songs and saying, hey, I didn't know Chinmayi sang that. How do you see that?
So this happened when I had that marathon Twitter Spaces concert in 21, where I think we bring Chinmayi back, bring back Chinmayi. Something happened at that time. It was this entire adulation I had felt at that time as well. And sharing all of my old songs, people asking, I think there were people, there was also the stand-up comedian, missing his name. He asked me to sing that Amali Tumali, that one, he said. So I was doing this 7 hours, I think through the night. I was doing it until 5 in the morning. Everybody said, the sun is beginning to rise. I think we must let her go to sleep and all of that. So I saw that happening even then, people sharing all of my older songs. And in general, my career is defined by, I did not know you sang that. So I basically was joking and saying, if I ever have a live concert in Chennai, it will be called, I did not know you sang that.
But why do you suppose that happens, Chinmayi?
Because I do not sound the same between one song and the other. I sound very different from a Sarasara to a Devan Tandapuve to a... So all of these songs have been standalone hits, but they have not been able to attribute it to me. So from a Devan Tandapuve to suddenly listen to Sandipoma, nobody is making the connection. From there to Kilimanjaro, they are not making the connection. From there to Tere Bina to Maya Maya in the same album, they don't make the connection even though my name is there. And then there is a Chinnamma Chilakama, then there is also Varaya Varayo, Sarasara Sarakathu, Anbilavan, and now this. I think I did not plan on all of this, right? So if a song makes, they're asking for a certain tonality. If they ask me to change my tonality, huskier, bolder, sharper, all of that, based on also the range of the song. When I say range, I mean the Shruti. There is a lower Shruti and a higher Shruti. So we talk about when we say range, there's a lower range, mid-range, higher range sort of a song. So automatically my voice and tone changes in the mid-ranges and the lower ranges and the higher ranges. So they don't make the connection that it is the same singer who sang Titli, sang Sairat versus Zehnasib. It happened in Hindi also, in Mast Magan to, an Aad Jeevitam song. Yeah.
This points out your versatility, doesn't it, Chinmayi? So that the fact that you're able to sing a fast-paced song and a slow-paced song in two different shrutis, like you just put it, this points out your versatility. To what or who do you, attribute this versatility that you currently possess?
Training, learning, and maybe there is something that cannot be defined an X factor, because I myself don't know. I'm not planning on doing this. It's not a pre-planning. I'm not meditating on it for a while and then I'm going there, because we hardly have like 45 minutes to an hour to deliver what we have to deliver and leave. So there was this one interview where Ramesh sir said that Chinmayi is like, she's like water. Whichever vessel you pour her voice into, it takes the shape of that. And that is my greatest compliment. I don't want, even when I'm dubbing, I don't want Chinmayi the singer to stand out and overshadow the artist. I want to be so in tune with the artist that they shouldn't be in a position to make the difference whether it was a dubbing artist or it was the artist themselves. And that would be my greatest success. I don't want to be known and be like, shucks, I did not know that it was a dubbing. That would be the greatest compliment ever, because that is my job. I'm a session artist and this is what I need to bring to the plate.
The fact that you are a dubbing artist, Chinmayi, it contributes a great deal to your singing and vice versa, right?
Vice versa, I do not know, because the first time that Gautam sir's associate, Krishna, poor man, he went through a lot to make me dub. And I wouldn't have gone to the dubbing studio ever if I wasn't asked to go and dub test from Rahman sir's studio. They said they are looking for a new voice. I said, I can't dub. I don't have this typical heroine's voice, because it had a template, right? It had a template of sounding girly, bubbly, higher pitched, and my voice is more in the mid to low range speaking voice. I said, idella set agada heroine kala enna pesringa. Poya nee and decide panna. So it just worked out for Bhumika, and then Krishna sir, I have repeated it over the years that I'm probably the only dubbing artist in history who would put glycerin in her eyes and start crying, because I couldn't cry. There were places that I was supposed to, na onkuda 100 varsham varano Gautam or something I would have said. So all of that. So it took me such a long time. Earlier in my career, I couldn't giggle and laugh like, how S. Janaki Amma is the absolute master. S. Janaki Amma, Ellarishwari Amma, the way they could actually SPB sir, the dramatics that they would bring to the theatrics also that they would bring to a song, where they will suddenly giggle. And I think there is a Kannada song, if I remember right, where S. Janaki Amma has sung like a female voice, a male voice and a child. And there was this time I heard it live on stage and I was like, who's this male singer? And she was singing there. And she is stoically standing, not one hair or one finger moving out of her body in that 5 or 1 foot radius, right? Her mic will be like this, her book will be like that, she'll be singing that, and her voice will be doing the entire dance. And this is the stature of singing that we have wanted to emulate. And cut to suddenly seeing all of those legends, and suddenly you are expected to dance and perform, which is frowned down upon by the legends, right? And we're like, okay, now should I sway this way or that way, or go beyond my comfort zone? Because performing and moving my body and being so comfortable with my body was not something that I'm trained to be a more straight-jacketed singer, owing to the classical music training, right? So, earlier they'll say, Padina porame, dance ala adavenda, they'll say. They'll be very, very caustic in the way they say it. It'll be a simple line. Enough if you sing, there's no need to dance. If you want to dance, you can become a dancer. They'll be like that. And you'll be like, what? Like a million bricks will fall on me. Let me be buried here at this point. So, I think the versatility that I can look back on Ellarishwari Amma or Asha Bhonsle ji and everybody else to, the kind of stuff that R.D. Burman sir has done. I don't know who they listened to before they created that, but I can listen to them. They have set the path and we are walking on it. Of course, SPB sir, what has he not done? He's done everything from dubbing to singing to composing to editing to producing to directing to acting. Man has left nothing in any of the crafts, I think. He must have done lighting also at some point, because that's the overall in all 24 unions, he would have done something. I don't know about stunt alone, but I think looking at that, those cute things that he did with Prabhudeva sir in that, all of that. So yeah, dancer also. So.
What has your most craziest recording been, Chinmayi?
Maina for Vidyasagar sir. I was recording that for 8 hours and I have no idea why. From morning to night I was recording that. Illa, one more. And I was like, and I was extremely introverted. I wouldn't speak and I wouldn't ask why. I would be scared. What should I change and sing? So yeah, I sang that for 8 hours. That's the craziest recording experience.
You mentioned about emoting, right, and pronunciation of words, and you of course spoke about, Shreya Ghoshal, SPB, and their ability to, emote and pronounce words very perfectly and all that. And we see that with you as well, Chinmayi, right now. In Mutha Mazhai, if you look at the random YouTube comments, apart from, praising your singing prowess, there are also comments about how you are, pronouncing certain words in a very, very, different way and adding stress to a certain word and all that. How important is all this for you as a singer?
So this is the school of thought that I have learnt and emulated from. So the greats before me, say Chitrama or Janaki Amma, SPB sir and Yeshoda, everybody, all of them, when they performed a song, there was so much drama and theatrics to that. You wouldn't pick up so many of SPB sir's songs where he'll be laughing. Mano sir's, where I think that man is very versatile. I mean, there's a Heshab, and so songs like, I think, Mukkala Mukkabla, where he completely changes the tonality, right? And Swarnalata ma'am and her very unique timbre, where the way she sang Hai Rama to what she would do in Porale Punatai. All of this is what I wished I could do, because I was not free enough in my singing and my personality to giggle and laugh. I remember before Devant and the Puve released, Mani sir's office, they had heard me sing Kanathal Muthametal. So Anbula Snehidhiye is a serial released just before Kanathal Muthametal released. So apparently Mani sir's office was like, there's this girl who started singing, she's very good, get her to sing Anbula Snehidhiye. So a lot of people came to the studio, Dina sir's music, they were like, who's this girl that Mani sir referred? So I remember how much director Priya of Anbula Snehidhiye, there was a Snehidi, and the siripukku avanga evlo kashtapattaanga enakku theriyum. Cut to that to now, where I'm able to figure out where if I laugh a little bit, where if I giggle a little bit, if I sigh a little bit, or if I'm able to whisper some things off. It's taken time and it's taken experience, and I'm glad for the time and opportunities that have come my way to express all of that.
Right, and now that there is a lot of appreciation coming your way with respect to your current song, how do you see the future? How do you see the next few years panning out for Chinmayi?
I have no idea. I have stopped expecting anything from anybody or from time. I guess it's been, I don't know, I sound like somebody who's going to become a saint or something, but I think that's a great business model. I'll become Chinmaya and Mahima or somebody like that. Go to Himalayas, I'll become that. Make money, settle, build my house, all of that. But jokes apart, I think art, music itself, what I was told is to stay humble, and there is God in the music. It is Nadopasana, where there are different paths to reach God, and music is one of them. There is bhakti, there is devotion, there is rituals, there is, and one of them is definitely music. And I think I have come to a point where I am wondering if there is a, whatever, I didn't plan on this. I didn't expect any of this to happen. It's happened, and I'm grateful to music for that. And the next couple of years, few years, how many ever years, no expectations, no ask. May things happen the way they are supposed to.
Hope things happen your way, Chinmayi. You also sung one particular line in this song, like Innum Varum Endan Kadai.
Line, this is not my line, that's Dhee's line. But anyway, that's her language, her song, her rendition. But nevertheless, it was.
Yeah, but you did sing that at the audio launch, so I'm saying that's probably that's going to be your story henceforth, Abdina.
So It is Dhee's song, Chinmayi's was the cover version. So, Innum Varum Endan Kadai, maybe. I don't know.
Wishing you all the best, Chinmayi. Very, very happy talking with you after a long time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.